Hello and welcome to Minimise Debt, Maximise Cash with Top Service, where each episode we will give you tips on how to maximise your cash and minimise your debt in the construction industry. My name's Emma Reilly, Top Service CEO, Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Credit Management and current CICM Council Advisory Member representing trade credit. In this episode we continue our series of excerpts from June 2025 seminar at the Coalface, a half-year review. There were a lot of principles shared, and as we start the new year, we think it is a good idea to remind ourselves of this. This episode is about how to manage collections. You will hear Philip King asking the questions and Jade Owen of Perry, Simon Howell of Tarmac and Luke Sculthorpe of the CICM and Jonathan Ward of National Timber Company answering. If you hear anything of value to you, please register for our newsletters on our website and we will let you know when the next webinar is. The link to register is in the show notes of this episode.
Let's move on to collections then, can we? And Jade, I'll start with you, if I may. Starting at the end of the cycle, what have you seen in terms of insolvencies? Have they been increasing or not during the first half of this year?
It's been pretty quiet for Smith so far, touch wood. We've seen a few numbers of smaller insolvencies, so nothing too dramatic to worry about, to be honest. We had one slightly larger bad debt earlier this year due to a project failing, and we are hearing that jobs are stalling due to various issues, which means they're not getting paid on time, which means they have no money to pay us. So we have entered into a lot of payment plans and giving customers that little bit more time to pay to stick with them, also while monitoring how they're behaving, like via Top Service through other suppliers as well.
Okay, all right, thank you. Simon, is the economic climate and uncertainty affecting your collection activity to any great extent?
It's interesting because I was asked this by our credit insurers in probably more a macroeconomic basis. You know, is US tariffs affecting us? And my reflection on that was it was not US tariffs per se. It's the more general sentiment around the industry which is causing more of an issue. And I think that uncertainty is the key thing. You've already mentioned it. And I think that, is it affecting our collection strategy? It's not affecting our strategy. Is it affecting our performance? It's making it much harder. And we are still achieving what we need to achieve, but and we have very demanding masters, as I'm sure others on the call have from parent companies and so on. But the fact is that it is becoming increasingly hard to deliver the sort of cash demands that the business have from the levels of trade. So I think it's more sentiment which is affecting anything else. But the one thing I would say is, if you've got a robust process, you stick to it and let that take what it needs to take out of the process.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Luke, I was just asking what trends CICM had seen in terms of insolvencies first half of the year.
They have peaked a little bit. They have increased, certainly from our members and their commentary. I think we do a lot of effective work in terms of educating and training the teams. And when we think about collection strategies, we're seeing that blend. So we're seeing that behavioral insights, that risk signals and commercial nuance. We're seeing all of that blended in. And that's equipping teams really with also the right soft skills. That's what we're providing in our training portfolio, which is really making sure that everybody's operating at an increased and continued increased level. But yes, I mean, I suppose the most effective teams that we're training today are combining that structure and flexibility, and they know when to escalate. So they're listening, they're slowing down, or they're changing the route. So that balance of sort of data and judgment and communication, it separates them from everybody else. So yeah, I think for me, if you're a credit team that you're looking to maybe review or reset your collections approach, certainly look at our training programs, look at what they provide in terms of structure, and certainly soft skill development is a big thing that we do, and we do that very effectively.
Yeah, I mean, we know that people buy from people and people pay people, don't they? So soft skills are absolutely key to anything in terms of credit management, in my view. Jonathan, are you doing anything clever? Any clever little tips that you're doing in your collections activity?
I think you probably hit the nail on the head where people pay people. The relationship between the credit controller and the customer is not short term. And so building that relationship and look at the customer as being the internal customer as well, with the depots, the sales guys, and the customers, the credit controller building that long-term relationship and looking for ways to support both the sales, both the customer. In particular, when we have an increased request in payment plans, is that empathy, understanding the customer, and looking for somewhere, a mutual landing ground. I think so. The strength of the relationship between the team member and the customer can't be overemphasized for me.
Jade, what clever tactics are you employing at E.H. Smith?
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I didn't know it was switching back. We've got a range of customers at E.H. Smith, ranging from, huge companies right down to just a man with a van. So we change tactics as to who's on the phone at the time. And what I'd echo is the fact that relationships with the depot, relationships with the customer, they have to be second to none. And customer service has to be really high, because you want to be the first person that they're willing to part ways with their money for. And it's just an extra piece of the customer service experience for them as well. They're not just communicating with credit control at Smiths, they're communicating with the whole business. So I think, for that we drill that into the team, pick up the phone, speak to a person all the time, even when you can't find a way to do that, review the original credit app. If that was years ago, speak to the salespeople, get sales directors involved, and they appreciate that more as well. So when we place our accounts on what we call restricted trading around the middle of the month, if we've got people that haven't paid yet, we'll involve sales earlier so that they've got more of a chance, and it's not such a nasty discussion with them to say, you're going on stop, we need it urgently. It's more of a, how can we facilitate this before it's too late sort of thing. So I agree, relationships is really important.
That's good stuff.
Hello, Emma here again. Thank you for listening. If there are any other questions, please do contact us on LinkedIn. Just search Top Service Limited. And also do check out a video version of this podcast on our YouTube channel. Once again, search for Top Service Limited. If we don't see you online, we will see you in the next episode, where we will help you to maximise your cash and minimise your debt. Bye bye from Top Service.